Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you're well. So welcome back to another lesson. My name is Harry and this is Learn English with British Harry. So a lot of my students are parents and it's quite a unique opportunity to improve your English when you are a parent. And it can be quite difficult because you have so many different types of stress when you are a parent. Firstly, it's very difficult to find the time because you are so busy looking after your children and everything that's associated or connected with that it's very hard to find time to improve your English. So when you are a parent, you are juggling many tasks. So to juggle many tasks, you have lots of things up in the air. So when you are juggling balls, and it's okay when you're juggling one ball, it's manageable, it's okay. Two balls, yeah, it's fine, no problem. But when you start to have 3 or 4 balls, then it's very difficult because you have the ball is in the air before the other one leaves your hand. So you're having to concentrate on a lot of different things at once. And it's really important to manage your time. Also remember, I have created a fantastic ebook for you. It contains 200 everyday phrasal verbs. And wait, there is a bonus 1-hour video where I go through the workbook with you. So it feels like I'm there next to you going through the workbook. You can pause, you can answer the quiz questions to reinforce your learning. And I think it will really help to improve your English. Be sure to have a look at the link in my description or go to britishharry.com. So I know many of you may have pets and it's not quite comparable to having children, although there is a big time commitment. You have to spend time with your pets, entertaining them, taking them out for walks. But when you have children, it goes on to another level because you put their needs first. And it's only natural to do that. You may neglect your own life. I mean, for example, with myself, I neglected fitness for a long time because I was just so busy. I didn't have time or the energy. Now, you can be sleep deprived. When you are sleep deprived, this means that you are not getting enough sleep. You may have to wake up multiple times throughout the night, and that can bleed into the next day. So that feeling of being tired, feeling groggy. So when you feel groggy, it's when you don't have a lot of energy. Then you can feel lethargic the next day. And it's really difficult to try to motivate yourself to improve your English. So I think it's quite nice to incorporate English learning around your children. So, for example, when your children go to school, you can ask them, what did they learn today? And take an interest in the subjects that they are studying. And very often, the children growing up, they may be learning English at a higher level than you did when you were at school. So it's a nice opportunity to learn from your children as well and see that as inspiration to also improve your English, because you can pick up new vocabulary words And it's really important to not feel bad that you don't know the words or you don't know the phrases. If your children do, you can see this as a learning opportunity. And you can ask them about these words, about these phrases, and you're working your brain. And I think that's important because you're keeping your mind active. There will also be opportunities for you to practice your English. For example, if you go to parents' evening. Now, the parents' evenings, they are when you go to the school and you pick up your child's school report. And you have an opportunity to speak to the teacher, to find out how your child is doing in a certain subject. And this is a really good opportunity to practice certain phrases. For example, you can ask, what does my child need to do to improve? How is she doing, or how is he doing in this subject? Are there any extra classes or homework that you can provide, that you can give to help them to improve? Maybe your child is struggling in a certain subject and you can ask for help. And it can be as simple as just asking, how can my child improve? What can they do to improve? So you are really forced to improve your own English because you have an objective, you have a certain task that you have to do. And when you have a task that you have to complete, it's like a project and it makes learning a lot easier. One of my students, for example, her children, they do extracurricular activities after school, and I've helped her to be able to discuss her child's performance with the teachers. It may be academic, so it may be a certain subject, or it could be sports. It could be asking the sports coach, if it's a swimming coach or a tennis coach. You can talk to the coaches and you can ask them, what can my child do to improve? How are they doing? And you can listen to their feedback. So it actually opens up doors to improve your own English. And you also get a chance to network. So when you network, this is when you speak to other parents, other teachers. And if you think about some vocabulary words associated with parenting and school life, you have things like the school run. Now, a school run is when you drop off your child to school or pick them up from school. And generally, if this is done by car, then you would call this the school run, which is a bit strange because you're not running, you're in a car. And it can be quite a stressful time because there are a lot of parents dropping off their children at the same time. Everyone is competing for a parking spot. So when I say competing, they are trying to find a parking spot, a place to park, before the other parent gets that same spot, because the parents, they have to get to work quickly, and it can be the same when you're picking up the child. So it can be quite a stressful time. You have things like a PTA, which is a parent teacher association, and this is when the school encourages parents to get involved in the school's activities. It may be things like organizing cake sales, so you can donate that money either to a charity or to invest into buying equipment for the school. And it really gives you a chance to get involved in the school and in the community. So even if your English, or if you feel your English is not at a high standard, it can really affect your confidence. It can stop you from participating and taking part in your child's life at school. And I think a lot of schools, they are very understanding. The main thing is to expose yourself to these situations, because it's one of the best ways to try to improve your English. And you can assess what level you are at. And it's really taking it step by step. So asking the school if there's anything that you can do to help. Maybe you have a certain skill. Maybe you are an expert at cooking or sewing or sports, and you're able to translate these skills into helping other children. So it's quite interesting when you have children, because it can take away your time, it can take away your energy, but it forces you to be very efficient with your time. And watching and listening to these videos like that I create is very helpful for you, just to be immersed in English and listen to vocabulary words, listen to British English, listen to how I put stress on certain words, and you're just training your ear. You're getting used to listening to English, and it can start to provoke some thoughts in your own head. So you're starting to think about any answers. So you have to be more efficient with your time. You have to find the time to practice your English. So this can either be listening to English on your earphones. It could be listening in the car. It could be waking up 15 minutes early before your day starts. Because when you wake up in the morning, before you have the school run, you may have to make school lunches, pack lunches, and make breakfast for your children, get them dressed. So it's quite a chaotic time, a very busy time in the morning. So, everyone is running around like headless chickens. And when I say headless chickens, this phrase means that people are just running around and there's a lot of chaos. So it can be quite stressful. So at the end of your day, a really good exercise is to really recap your day. Ask yourself, what did I do this morning? And I've talked about this in previous lessons. It's one of the best ways to improve your English. So for example, on a very basic level, you could say, I woke up at 6 o'clock, then I brushed my teeth, then I took a shower, then I ate my breakfast, then I left for work. I had some business meetings. I had lunch about 1 o'clock. I finished work at 5 o'clock. I came home at 6 o'clock and I ate some dinner, and then I went to sleep at 10 o'clock. Then you can start to increase the level. For example, I woke up at 6 o'clock. It was quite peaceful. Then my children woke up and I made them breakfast. It was quite a busy time. And then I got everyone ready. I did the school run and dropped them off. Then I made my way to work, and I had quite a busy day at work. I had many stressful meetings. Then I had a very nice lunch about 1 o'clock. I ate some noodles and I had a fantastic salad. So you can see how you can take a very simple task or exercise, and you can make it as difficult as you want. And you can even try to set yourself certain goals. So, for example, I want to try to use some adverbs of frequency today. So I want to talk about how I occasionally have noodles, or I always do the school run, or I rarely eat dessert, but today I did. And this is a really nice way to start to incorporate some grammar into your real world life situation, because everyone's life is different. And if you can incorporate some of these aspects, it starts to make it a bit more interesting when you are having a conversation with yourself in English. When you go to the supermarket, for example, to buy food for your kids' pack lunch, you can use it as a way to improve your vocabulary. There may be things that you need to buy that you wouldn't normally buy for yourself. They may be things like snacks. I know kids love snacks. And if you're trying to be healthy, then you can buy vegetables and cut them up to be snacks. So a lot of kids don't like to eat vegetables. And this is another way to improve your vocabulary in a focused way. So now you need to learn about different vegetables, if it's broccoli or asparagus or carrots. And have you had any issues with getting your kids to eat vegetables? I found a bit of a hack, and that is to make smoothies. So I have a special recipe where I put bananas, frozen blueberries, bok choy, or you could use spinach, almond milk, and some dates. And you just take the stone out. And then you just blend all of this together, and it just tastes absolutely delicious. And it looks purple, so kids love the bright color. And like I said, you just pop a straw into it, and it's absolutely delicious. So you should try that one out and let me know how you like it. So let me know, are you a parent? Do you know anyone that is a parent? How is their life? Has your life changed since being a parent? I know for myself, it's changed my life. It's made me feel a lot older or grown up, or more grown up, because now you are responsible for another human being. So on one hand, it's quite stressful, but on the other hand, it's a wonderful experience. And, you know, there's a lot of pressure. You don't want to be a bad parent, but I think a lot of us are just learning as we go along. You know, you try to take aspects from when you were growing up, you tried to take the good aspects from your parents, and try to reduce the negative aspects that you learnt, and you just try to be a better parent. But bringing it back to learning English when you are a parent is look for opportunities where you can actively practice your English in different scenarios connected with your children. If it's with them going on a certain school trip, you can think about planning their trip. So you would have an itinerary. Are they going to the zoo? So how are they going to the zoo? Are they going on the bus? Okay, yeah, so they're going on the bus. What food can they take? What will the weather be like? So here you're not just focusing on your day, but you're trying to imagine how someone else's day will be. And also, when you are in situations when you are speaking to teachers or other parents, you're asking about what year another parent's child is in, or how are they finding school, or are they doing any activities in summer? And networking as well, because you learn so much through other parents. You learn about even strange things like if they know of a good doctor or a good dentist. So you learn about things through word of mouth. So word of mouth is when you hear about things through other people. So there may be, for example, a movie that you are not really sure about watching, but your friends have talked about it and have said, this movie is amazing, you need to watch this movie. And it convinces you to watch this movie. It could be a restaurant that you haven't heard about, but everyone is raving about this restaurant, telling you that you have to go there and try their food. So it convinces you, and often you trust these opinions because you haven't seen them in the newspaper or on social media, where things can be manipulated to be shown in a certain way. But by hearing it through word of mouth, it's more genuine because they don't have anything to gain. They are not being sponsored by the restaurant. It's their own honest opinion. And yeah, so through networking, you can learn a lot. Even things like holidays, and going on holidays that are family friendly. Because sometimes you can think, this holiday destination looks amazing. But then another parent will tell you, it wasn't really good for children. They didn't have the facilities or clubs, and the food wasn't great. So it can make you rethink your holiday destination. So it's so valuable connecting with other people. And that's why improving your English is so good, because it allows you to connect and build genuine friendships or interactions with other people. And it doesn't always have to be transactional. It can just be that you are offering your advice or your opinion, and you are connecting with other people. So I think being a parent and trying to learn English is something you can use to your advantage, and see it as a really good way to try to improve your English. You can improve your English with your children as they are learning, even if they are at a higher standard than you are. You can be proud of them, and you can also see it as motivation because they can start to teach you. So there's so many beneficial aspects, I think, when you are a parent. And trying to manage your time, I think, starts to become a skill. So you start to say, okay, I need to not do certain things that I could do before. I can't really stay up late. I can't stay up too late because I know I'm going to be tired the next day. So it makes you more organized and a bit more serious and focused when it comes to learning English. So let me know, what has your experience been, or what do you think it will be like to be a parent? So it'll be quite interesting to hear from you. So as always, watch this video next to keep improving your fluency. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you, and bye-bye.